Welcome back to Solid Motion VFX for another quick tutorial. We're looking at a Horse Animation Pro. We want to integrate this with the awesome FPS engine. Okay, I have loaded up the demo scene here, HAP FPS, and if you see here, there's a default rider first-person controller. It has a camera, and then it has a couple of components on it: rigid body, capsule collider, this Malbus input, and of course the rider FPS. So in play mode here, if we go to the horse, press F, now we are mounted. Now we can ride the horse, look around, turn with the horse as well, and all that good stuff. Okay, and then we can unmount again with F. So that's the default one. Now how do we make this work with our FPS engine? Okay, so let's disable this and let's bring in our FPS controller. I have him here on the scene, and right now if I just hit the play button, here's my FPS controller. If I go over to the horse, I have nothing right now. I can't do anything. Okay, I can kill it. That's the only thing I can do right now. We don't want to kill a horse. So let's look at which components we need to actually transfer here. So from the rider, we definitely need the rider FPS and the input here. So let's take the input and just copy that over to our player. It has to be in the hierarchy the player with the rigid body and capsule collider on. Paste component as new, and we're also gonna take the actual rider here and copy component, go down to player and paste components as new. Okay, but now we of course need to adjust some settings here. So open up the input, go to dismount here, and we don't want to use F because F is our knife on the FPS. So we're just gonna use another one. I'm just gonna use L for the sake of this tutorial, and also for the mount as well. Mount and dismount, the key is gonna be L. So right now it's referencing the old rider, the original rider. Okay, so if you click here, you can see it's referencing up to the default FPS controller. We don't want that, so bring down your player here. When you drag that in, because you are on the dismount, we need to go into the rider FPS and then found the dismount. Where do you have that? Dismount animal here. Cool. Do the same with the mount, but this time of course bring your player object down here again and go into the rider FPS and found the mount animal. Where do we have that? That's here. Okay, so right now these two are just bool values and they are set as they should be. Nothing on the events. So that's it for the input here. Now go down to the rider FPS, look at the general. Again, we need the capsule collider from our own, so drag your player here down to the main collider like so. On the advanced, we also need the rigid body, again the player, bring that down here. And the rider's root here, it's important. We don't want the head, but we want the orientation of the FPS engine. And now if we open up the rigid body, here we need to actually tweak some setting, and that's what the other default FPS here that does on this FPS controller setting here. Okay, so what we want to do here is we want to have our own script on it, and I'm gonna leave that in the description for download, and you're gonna put it on the player, and it's called, I named it FPS engine on horse, and I'm only referencing the rider FPS, so this one, put that here, and that's it. And if we're going to look at the script, basically what we're doing is saying that we are referencing to the rigid body. We're also fetching the rider FPS script, and then start we're just getting the component rigid body. But in the update, now if we are mounted on, if that is set to true, then we want to set the kinematic on the rigid body to true, but the gravity to false. And if we unmount it, we're gonna just reverse. So it's kinematic false and use gravity to true. And basically that's this on the rigid body here you're seeing. So let's test it out. Okay, let's go to the horse. We get our mount here, press L, and as you see, we are mounted now, and we can ride the horse. Pretty cool, huh? And look at the rigid body settings. When I unmount and mount, you can see that's what our little custom script does. Okay, and of course you can play with the height on the head transform. So that means this one here, you can set that so it's more realistic. Oh, I just shot my horse there. And of course you shoot it again, you will unmount from the horse. And of course while you are riding, you can also use the gun and shoot a lot of steves if you want. No issue. Alright? Cool. Okay, thank you guys. That's it with the sword to shoulder. I hope you learned something. Otherwise, I'll leave the script. You can just add that script onto your player. Just remember to tweak the settings when you enter the input, and also remember to get in the rider FPS. Those are the two components you're gonna get from the default FPS. Okay guys, see you. Bye.